here with us this evening. Let me get a 111 in the chat. Let me get a 111. And if you are still learning how to cash out, let me get a 222. Now, our affirmations, I want to make sure that we definitely are putting our affirmations on here, okay? Now, remember, these affirmations are not for me, they are for you, okay? I am a BYOB master trader. I am the signal. All my trades in profit, I am 777, all right? I am a BYOB master trader. I am the signal. You say you are the signals. I like that too. I am the signal. All my trades in profit, I am 777. So, like you are a trader educator. Okay, own it, claim it, walk in it. That's what you're supposed to do. Your mindset is ultimately the most important thing that you are going to have to do in order to be successful. The mindset is something that you must have in order to be successful. So that's why it's so important that as you all log in here this evening, right, that you go ahead and make sure you drop it in the chat. Because remember also, your thoughts are just thoughts. Your thoughts are just things, and they come in and come out, come in and come out. They come in and come out. Good evening, Alaska. They come in and come out your mind. And so you want to make sure that you write it out. Let's put some energy and effort behind it. And that's why we're asking each and every last one of you all to drop that in there. And so as I see many 111s on here, so many of you all, so many 222s, let me just welcome each and every last one of you all and welcome back. Welcome and welcome back. Welcome and welcome back to each and every last one of you all. So it's so ultimately important that we always working, with that right mindset, that we're always operating in that right skill set. So definitely want to make sure. So now as we get started here this evening, let me go ahead and make sure this is set up. Definitely want to do that. Get my stuff set up here as I'll welcome you all. You're a wealth magnet. Okay. I see my BYOB master traders. Keep dropping it in there. Keep dropping it in there. All right, guys, keep dropping it in there. All right. So tonight, just so all of you all understand how these calls work, all right? I definitely want you all to understand how these calls work. These calls operate by us ensuring that you are the signal. An educated trader is a profitable trader. So here we are on Tuesday and Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are here walking you through understanding how to utilize the tools, understanding the BYOB cash out strategy, understanding just really putting you in position where you are ultimately the signal. That's what this is all about for us. And then of course, what happens is in the mornings, Monday through Thursday in the mornings, what we're doing is empowering you. So we're not going to, hey, take this trade, take that trade. We're not going to do that. But what we are going to do is walk you through it. Now, of course, if we see a trade, we take the trade, but you need to know how to trade. You need to know exactly what's required of you, right? You need to know exactly how to trade. And if you know how to trade, then no matter what, you're always empowered. So if you're just sitting back looking for somebody else to feed you, then what that says is I'm not ready to walk off my job. I mean, I'm not ready to be empowered and be my own, because you're still you're still allowing yourself to be put in a position where someone else is feeding you. And so you want to make sure you learn a skill set. You want to make sure you understand how to navigate the markets. You want to understand that that's what you're here to do. All right. And so that's what we do. And so just to kind of, as we dive in, just to really help you guys understand what this month is all about and what we're here to do, just to really, really, really put it in perspective. It's been a year. It's been a year since our lives flipped upside down. I don't care, I don't care if you could be on one end of the spectrum where you were unemployed, or you could be on the other end of the spectrum where you literally were economically unbothered. But even still, something shifted in your life. I mean, I became a teacher as well. So we're doing distance learning, and I never wanted homeschool in my life. So understand that, we definitely are in a position right now where this is so imperative and so important. So this is March Madness, you know, and we've declared and decreed that we do not chase it, we go get it, right? Meaning that we don't chase trades, we actually go get them. Meaning when we go get them, we are empowered to educate ourselves. So we're challenging all of you all to focus on your skill set this month. We're challenging every last one of you all on this line to really focus on your skill set this month. And so what I'm about to do is, and that's going to be what we're focused on this month. Like everything is about skill set development. And what that's going to allow you to do is, as we take our trades and as we navigate the markets, when we're on the calls live in the morning, you can take the trade based on your trading style. So that's our intent this month, is to really allow you to position yourself to take the trade based on your trading style. So what that means is, if you are a scalper, then you're going to scalp. If you are an intraday trader, then you're going to do that as well. If you're a swing trader, you're going to see how to set it up. And if you are trading HFX, which is options, then you just go back and you open up your broker and you take the trade on HFX. And so we'll kind of identify those things and kind of walk you through it, but we're analyzing and you're taking the trades. All right. And of course, if you have questions as we go through this evening, drop it in the chat, just drop it in the chat, and we will definitely do our best to make sure that each and every last one of you all questions are answered. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. Now, as we dive in, what we're looking for is the BYOB cash out strategy has 3 indicators. All right, it has three indicators. And what those 3 indicators are is, I have my Hikanashi candles, I have my P-star, and I have my stochastic down here. All right, so understand that that is actually what you have, okay? And so what you're seeing is, I have my stochastic, blue line cross over the red and upward momentum, right? That's what you're looking for. Or it's crossing over the red and downward momentum. All right, now this is going to happen around this 20 or around at 80, okay? That's definitely how that's going to happen. It's going to happen around at 20, or it's going to happen around at 80. And so what that means is that this is going to help you determine if you're looking for a buy or if you're looking for a sell. So just kind of think about it as momentum, because that's what it is. So it's a momentum indicator. So blue line cross over the red and upward momentum, blue line cross over the red and a downward momentum. All right, that's ultimately what that is. And so that's what you're looking for, is that momentum indicator. All right. So now, right now, this is my leading indicator. This is a leading indicator, which means that this must happen first. All right. This needs to happen first. Okay. So I'm looking for something to happen here. Now, as it does that, and it starts down there, when you come up here, what you're looking for is my Hikanashi candles. And as you can see, those Hikanashi candles, these interpret, let me go ahead and say it now, I get this question almost every single time. They interpret for Japanese candles. So if I flip to my Japanese candles, look at what my Japanese candles say, right? You see that they're not smooth. You can see the tug of war. You can see everything that's happening between your buyers and your sellers, right? That's what you can see. You can see everything that's happening between the buyers and the sellers. So let me go ahead and switch this back to my Hikanashi candles. Now look how smooth this is, right? Look how smooth it is. So the rule is flat bottom. The rule is flat top. I'm not waiting on candles to close. I'm not doing all of that. That's what the rule is. And then of course, right here, you're gonna have that PSAR, okay? You have that PSAR. So that PSAR will flip. That's what you're looking for, all right? And this PSAR is that parabolic stop and reversal. So this is ultimately your stop loss goes above or below. Now, we're starting on a 15-minute chart, all right? And the reason why we're starting on a 15-minute chart is that means that every candle, every time you see 15, like every candle is 15 minutes, okay? Every candle is 15 minutes. So you see this countdown that's happening right here. Every candle is 15 minutes. And so understanding that, we're here because what you can do is grab 10 pips and cash out, or you can simply trade to your support and resistance line. All right. That's ultimately what you can do. You can trade to your support and resistance line. Now, that's pretty much what we're going to talk about this evening. If you heard me say support and resistance lines. Now we've trained on it before. I know, but this is your lifeline. Understanding these dynamics is your lifeline. And so, but let me finish the strategy first. And then of course, we'll dive in there just some. Now, when this blue line crosses over the red, you can see that it crossed and it crossed over here. All right. You can see where this crossover and cross up happened. I dropped this on here. I got to get my colors together. I guess I can leave that blue. I'll thicken it up just a little bit. All right. So I can get my, so you can see that this was definitely not doing anything I needed it to do. And technically I was still in a sell right here. Now, because it's a momentum indicator, it's a leading indicator. So it's going to happen first. And so now what I'm looking for is this, I'm looking for this Hikanashi candle to have a flat bottom and that PSAR to be down there at the bottom. That's what I'm looking for, is that to happen right there. Now, when that happens, right? When that happens, what you're looking for, right? When that happens, we need to also come back and do what's called time frame confluence. All right. I need to come back and do my time frame confluence. Why is that so important? Why is that so very important? Well, it's important because you don't know where the market's going. You have absolutely no idea what the market is actually doing, right? You don't know. And so because we're on a lower time frame, my higher time frames tell me the direction and actually what the market is actually doing. But my lower time frames is where your entry points, the activities, my scalpers hang out. That's what's on my lower time frames. So let me go ahead and cut that off real quick. We know what it means, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off. Now, of course. All right, so let me drop this back on here. I started to go to another window, another tab. Let me put this back on here. That's where our crossover happened. This is where we got everything lined up. So let's go ahead and look at the time frame confluence. All right. Now, before I jump to time frame confluence, when I say looks like, let me make this bigger. I need you guys to understand what I'm talking about. When I say looks like, you see how right here, this is, I don't have anything set up in this area right here. I have absolutely nothing set up in this area right here, right? Absolutely nothing. So, but you see that my stochastic already, initially I had, this didn't work with me. All right. So initially when we had that crossover and cross up, right, which is right there, you notice that I had a green candle. So that right there, it's like I'm looking for a setup. I'm waiting. You're waiting on the other two indicators. I'm waiting on the other two indicators. That's what look like means. We do this all the time. We do it all the time. We do it all the time. We do it all the time on the other time frame. We do it all the time. So, but what you want to do is when we go to the higher time frame, I always get the question, what do you mean look like? Well, look like means I'm waiting on that setup. So now when I come to my higher time frame, I don't need it set up. I just need it to look like it's about to set up. So I don't need a setup. I just need it to look like it's about to set up, right? That's what I need. Now, when you're here, you see I already have that crossover and cross up that's here. So my stochastic is actually going up into a buy. And also right here, you see my candles are starting to turn green. Now, GBP has the most liquidity. Understand that, right? GBP has a significant amount of liquidity in the market. So understanding that they have that, we can drop down to our 30 to, to see that change is actually happening. Because, once again, don't like that little bitty candle. That it's a doji type candle. So we don't like that. So now when I drop down to my 30, now if you are a 111 and you're just getting started, don't worry about doing this, okay? Just don't worry about it. Allow your skill set to develop before you start adding different things and exceptions and, all of those things, right? So, haha, like you say, you are ready for March Madness. Let's go. Let's grow. I like that. So now when I drop down to my 5-minute, my 30-minute, you can see that we're up going into that buy. So it looks almost just like the hour, but you definitely can see we have the confluence. We have a stronger upward momentum on my stochastic as well. And when I drop down to my 5-minute, all right, when I drop down to my 5-minute, because it's a lower time frame, and so that activity has to be there and it needs to still be buying. All right, it definitely needs to still be buying, and it is. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the BYOB cash out strategy. So before we go any further, and that's the BYOB cash out strategy with the time frame confluence. So before we go any further, drop it in the chat, questions, comments, testimonies, questions, comments, testimonies, drop it in the chat, and we'll dive into the rest of the training for this evening. I want to make sure we got our strategy questions answered. All right, no questions, no questions. Awesome, awesome, awesome. That means all of you all on this line have mastered it. You got it. I love it. All right. So now what we're going to do tonight, I'm going to take this off of here, and we're going to focus on support and resistance. Okay. We're going to focus on that support and resistance. So as if I'm focusing on that now, remember we've touched on it. We just touched on it a little bit last week. We touched on it. You say, yay, we touched on it when we did the HFX training a little bit, but I really want to make sure you guys got it. Okay. I want to make sure you have it, and I'm going to give you your cheat sheet that's going to help you practice on your own. So if I'm looking at this, okay, we definitely can see how this was in an uptrend. Now we know that this is an uptrend, right? The trend is my friend. We can definitely see the momentum of this moving up. You can see the corrections that's happening right here. You don't know that looking back at it. All right. So the market does, it goes up, it goes down, it goes sideways. If you remember that, you on your way. It goes up, it goes down, it goes sideways. However, when I want to understand where the market is going, so let me mark this up just a little bit. I really want to help you understand. So with the market, okay, you see I'm up here on a monthly. Now we're not going to come up here and we're not going to mark up our monthly. You know, I'm not asking you to guys to go back. I'm up here because I want to share something. I want you to see something. And a matter of fact, I'm gonna pull both of them, right? Maybe I'm not. So, all right. Told you guys I had to get a new toy today. We're not getting kicked out of Zoom anymore. So, all right, let's see here. All right, so I want to bring both of these up here. All right, so now if I come up here on both of these, right, I want to make a point to you. This is GBP USD. This is GBP AUD. And you can kind of see, I'm going to take the stochastic off of this one. But on both of them, you see I'm on a monthly. So you can see what this one has done over time. Now, I can train on this one fine. You know, it would be no issues for me to train on it. But because this one, I'm going to move over to GBP USD because I really want you to see the significance of where we currently are in the market, the significance of understanding support and resistance. And as you can see, you know, look at how this one has been pretty much moving. And so that's ultimately what I want you to be able to look at. So now, unless you're a swing trader, you're probably not all the way up here, you know, but I definitely just want to show you. And I'm showing you this so you can gain complete clarity and understanding. All right. That's why I'm doing this. I want you to have complete clarity and complete understanding as you pull through this and as you learn this skill set. So now on a monthly, what you're looking for, and you do this on every time frame. All right. We'll do this on every time frame. All right. What I'm looking for are touches. I know some of you are like, well, how she just dropping those lines on there? Well, as you go through the academy, obviously that's going to assist you, right? Because this is part of your training, but I just want to show you the significance behind these. Now, here, obviously, this is a major, when I say major area of support and resistance, you see how it rejected here. So just imagine you get into the floor and it won't push through, like it's going to bounce off the floor, or it hits the ceiling and it bounces off the ceiling. And so that's ultimately how you can think about this. So you notice that it comes here, it rejects, it comes here, it rejects, right? You can definitely see where we are in the market. Okay, it rejects. And right now it actually rejected a little bit, but this is the monthly. Okay, I don't even want you, we're not even going to dive in. The point is I'm showing you that no matter what time frame I'm on. So obviously, okay, and just to kind of drive this point home, the higher time frames tell me where the market's going. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna put this around just these last few days, okay? Just these last, just these last few days, months. Actually, it's months. So because this is, I want to put it from where it started moving up in that buy. I just want to cover that buy. So you notice that overall, this has been buying since, right? This has been buying since July of 2020. It's been in a continuous upward momentum. All right. Now, when I drop down to my weekly chart, now you can see all the activity that happened in there. Now you see that where we were was on a monthly, and you can see support and resistance. But now, even in here, in this little area right here, there's more support and resistance lines being formed. Okay, there's more lines being formed. So you can see that I have more touches. Okay, you can see that you have those touches, more touches, more touches. What can also help you is switch over to the line chart. If you switch to the line chart strictly has closing prices. All right, the line chart has closing prices, and you can really see how it reacts to those areas. Okay, and so let's just come on down to the daily. I come on down to the daily, and you can see, obviously this one needs to be adjusted a little bit, but you can see where those touches, right? Those touches, 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 right? You can see all of that. And now, remember, this was just a nice upward movement. It was just a nice upward movement when we were on a higher time frame. But when I come down here and I put my Hikinashi candles back on there, now look at it. Look at how you had opportunity to sell. So you see, look at how many pips that was on the sell. So that's 558 pips on the sell right there. But yet on a higher time frame for that month, the overall momentum for the entire month was a buy. So even though the momentum was for a buy, you see how as I continue to drop down, right? As I continue to move down, that you still have, potentials for selling there, because obviously this is a correction to that higher time frame. But yet each one of these candles is a day. Okay. Each one of those candles is a day. So as I drop down again, I'm gonna just keep dropping down. And what you're seeing is more support and resistance lines. Okay. That's what you're seeing. And so now you see that I'm on a 4-hour. And so you just keep doing this. All right. You just keep dropping down. And so you're going to see, I want you to see this clearly. So I'm going to move that out of the way because we're not talking about taking a trade at this moment. So now I can see I'm still in that upward momentum on my higher time frames. You can still see, even with these sales, ultimately I'm still in a bullish market. It's still rising up. And so what you're looking for are where those touches happen. Okay, that's what you're looking for. This is what I'm looking for. So now it should make sense, right? Now it should make sense as we drop down, like when we get to the 15-minute, and you guys ask me all the time you ask me, you're like, well, you didn't take that trade on the 15-minute from the harmonic scanner or something. Well, now you understand why, because that can be a harmonic pattern that's called in the sell right there. But, on this 15-minute, but look, it's going to turn around and go back up because it can identify a harmonic pattern. It can identify. Now, I'm not drawing harmonic patterns. I'm not doing that. We're going to let the tools do the heavy lifting for us. But, you can see all of that, and you can see all of this activity. Now, if I just widen this up just a little bit, right? I just make this where these candles are a lot clearer and they don't look all nice and bunched up. Now you can still see where you have, right? Where you have those trend lines, it breaks the trend line, and I'm on a lower time frame. So this happens on each and every single time frame, right? It happens on each and every single, I'm gonna use these touches, happens on each and every single time frame, okay? It happens on every time frame. So you had those touches, a trend, but yet on a higher time frame, we're still in a bullish market overall. So, but yet down here on the 15, I can see a significant sell, right? And it follows the same impulse, correction, continuate. Well, look, impulse, correction, continuation, right? It does the exact same thing. And so that's ultimately what you're looking for. And so this is why when you see me mark up my support and resistance lines, I start on a higher time frame. All right. Always start on a higher time frame. I always start on the hour. I'm always starting up here. And I'll begin to mark up my support and resistance lines. You know, let's kind of stay over here. And I was trying to gear away from this, but I'm seeing I'm having to continually move the chart. And so because you can see we've been in that like that little range area for the most part. And you can see, you know, where, you know, it's you can see, you know, where we were. See where I told you it's going, all these I told you as far as this morning bouncing off of there and things like that. But let's stay focused. So as you can see, all of these support and resistance lines, right? That's what you can see. And as you drop down, then you'll begin to see more. So there's always some within the 15-minute as well. You'll see more support and resistance lines. So for my HFX traders, right? For my HFX traders, you all as well, and we're about to jump over to the tool, but you all, you know, you need to know where the market's going, because you don't want to put yourself in a position where, like right here, let me come back up here and show you. So like we know we're at a significant, right? We know for a fact, come back up here. I want to show you. I really don't want to be on a daily, but you know that you're at a significant support and resistance line, right? You're at a significant support and resistance line and you don't want to be trying to push through it. You know, that's not something that you want to do. You really don't want to be trying to push through it. So for you all, once you identify where the market is going, now you start looking at the support and resistance on a lower time frame. So you can definitely see that we still have them in here. And I'm gonna go back because you see we have a lot of indecision in the market a little bit. So I want to go back where I can just show you some, you know, for you guys to have some clarity. That's just the way the market has been over the last couple of days, but you can see it in the candles. But even in that, right, even in that, I just want, you know, and look, looked like it was, you know, look how it was riding in between here. So when I'm doing my HFX, I normally don't touch it when it's like looking like that. I start waiting for us to have some momentum and some movement. But all you're doing is it's either a 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, you know, some people do 15. All you're doing is wanting it to close above or below where you put it. And so you really have to pay attention to these support and resistance lines. They are so important. So as you can see, you know, where you are in the market. Now, this is what I want to do. I want to help you use a tool, because what the tool is going to do is going to help you, right? What the tool is going to do is it's really going to help you put you in a position where you can begin identifying it and also effectively taking trades. All right. So even if you are new and you've never even heard of this before, you can dive in here and it will teach you. So, you know, how you say, I see that's why when we were training, think back to when we were training, you say the 1 minute fell short. When we were training, I said, you're going to find your sweet spot, right? So mine is about, most of my trades are like 5 minutes, right? So, you know, when I do my HFX, most of them are 5. Now 3, I like the 3 as well, but it's going to depend on how the market's moving. And so you'll find your sweet spot. And that's why, you know, what I noticed, and, you know, a lot of people will make a lot of money doing that. But, you know, if I'm just telling you when to push the button, we all have a different Pip reaction time, you know. And for those of you all who are new, what Pip reaction time is how long it takes you to get into a trade, how long it takes you to react and push the button. And we all have a different Pip reaction time. And so that's why it's important for me not to tell you, hey, take profit, stop loss, this, that, you know, this is what you need to do. Because if I do that, then what's going to happen is you'll have some people that are dropping it in the chat and excited, but then you'll have some people trying to figure out why their trade didn't take profit, or why they missed the entry, or why this or why that, you know. And so that's ultimately, you know, what you don't want, you know. So you want everybody to know how and why, because you never should be like, oh, I missed a trade. Like, let's say if you were looking for a sale and you see that right here and my stop, you know, my support and resistance up here, but yet you're like, well, wait a minute, it didn't touch it, or, you know, it didn't come back up and come back around and touch it. Because if you would have put it up here somewhere, you notice that this didn't touch it. It didn't even touch it. So if you'd have been waiting on this to happen, I've seen so many people say, oh my goodness, my trade didn't activate. And, oh, did we miss it? Did we miss it? And you're asking that question. Well, you should know, no, you can take the trade on your own. You need to know how. Like, this, a support and resistance line is not a definitive line in a market. It can never be a definitive line, but it is, you know, because it is a line that you want to pay attention to. All right. It is something you want to pay attention to. And in the same token, if you were buying here and this was your take profit, you should not be pulled back to way down here, right? You should know that there's a zone. So you guys have seen me, and I'm about to pull it back up. We'll pull it up for the first time tonight, but pull it back up because we've done it before. But you guys have seen me, if I'm buying, you've seen me take my line and move it down, because I don't want to miss it based on wicks, you know. Even though, so if I'm selling, like, had I been selling, it would have been up here. I would take it and I'll move it up here, because I want to make sure it hits it. And you've seen me do those adjustments. So let's go ahead and let's come over here. You know, seems like when you're on an hour time frame, you always enter a trade late because you're waiting on. Remember, you're following the rules. And you also, we just did some training on understanding a true trend reversal and things like that. So these are the things that you have to pay attention to when you are trading on a higher time frame. And so we also just did just stop orders. So as you really gear into it and understand it, you know, that's going to help you. The stop orders is really going to help you. But it's not about waiting on it to pass the support and resistance. Now, there are sometimes I do say wait for it to break through, and that's based on market conditions and a currency that we actually analyze. That's why I would say something like that. But you know, from the other perspective, you know, it's all about as you analyze it. So I'm not necessarily, that whole waiting piece is Japanese candles. When this gets my flat top or flat bottom, it's actually pushing through. That's what makes it get that flat top or flat bottom. So that's what I mean. Don't wait and don't allow it to add the rules. Analyze it, do your time frame confluence, and go, voila, you go from there. So now, what I want you to do is when you come into the academy, all right, let me see here. Let me come back. All right. No, we're not just taking trades. Absolutely not. No. Consistency, perfect practice makes perfect. So I don't care how fast or slow you grow your trade account. You could be the person on this call with the slowest growing trade account, but it's still more profitable than someone who is back and forth and in and out of trades. I can guarantee when you look at the end of the month, your growth percentage, your accuracy rate, and you know, all of that, when you look at your goals and stuff, all of that is going to be so much more profound than somebody who is just willy-nilly it and just doing it. If you're willing to take trades like that, then that means that that's how you do other things in your life. You know, you just do stuff. You know, we don't ever want to just do stuff. We do everything in excellence, you know. So now, as we come down here and we come into the academy, okay, actually this is im.center. You want to click on strategies. So if I click strategies, right, I click strategies, and then I want to come down. Now you notice you have access. We've been in here before, but I want to click the harmonics. So this is, I believe, one of the easiest ways to help you understand how to trade and how to, you know, begin to get in there. So No, we don't, and I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna move on. We don't think we know it. You know, you never think you know it, right? If you're not, I can't, you always do everything. Perfect practice makes perfect. So if I am going to, just, I mean, think about driving. You think you safe because you in a big old car, so you don't wear your seatbelt. You think you safe, but that one time you get in that accident, you needed that seatbelt. It's going to stop you from being projected out of the car. It's a stop projection. It's a stop loss. So you want to make sure that you are always operating and doing everything the right way. So you might drive for 5 years and never even hit the curve, right? But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't put on your seatbelt. So if you need a stop loss, you need to put in your stop loss. You take profit, you put in your take profit. So perfect practice makes perfect. So you always condition your mind to operate in excellence, because that one time you can grow your trade account, and then that one time you don't, bam, same thing, car accident. No, we don't want that. We don't want that. You want to always practice perfect practice. Perfect practice makes perfect. So, right now, and just like they say, most accidents happen around the corner from your house. So I was in my neighborhood. I thought I was going to make it. No, 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 absolutely not. No. So now when we come in here into our harmonics, what you notice is you are able to select different time frames, and you're able to select different brokers. None of this matters, right? It doesn't matter which one you select. Now, I always, and I'm telling you what I do, you'll find your sweet spot too, but I'm gonna tell you what I do, and I'm gonna tell you why I do it. I always come and I pull from the hour. Why? Because my higher time frames have more clarity on the direction of the market. Now, you do not blindly take these trades, all right? Do not just come here and blindly take these trades. Do not try to do any markups or change this. And I'm gonna tell you why. Now, if we're gonna take this back to the vibrato. Now, if I'm looking at this, right, and you see this, okay, one thing I definitely want you to understand is that, as you see this, you'll see the one that just triggered is going to be up here at the top, okay? So this is the most current one. And then as I come down, you guys know we're not looking at CHF. So we're gonna just come here. So as I come down, the ones that have played out, all right, you can see that this actually played out already. And you notice that but it's still on there. So, and the other day when I was talking about Monday, it literally only had like 2 or 3 of them on here, and 2 of them had played out. So you notice that, these have actually played out. So what I want you to understand about this is just imagine all the currencies and all the market and everything, all of them that identify harmonic patterns. If they play out, they stay on here until they filter off, right? The ones at the bottom have already played out. So if they don't play out, they disappear. They're no longer there. And that's common sense. It makes sense, right? It makes a lot of sense that this is ultimately what we want to do and why we want to do it. So now, if I pick one on the 15, just based on what I just showed you, and it's why I showed you that first, is because you might be in a correction. You can have a complete trend on the lower time frame that's a correction to the higher time frame, right? And so you'll have a lot of them down here, but you notice if you take them or you look at them, sometimes they don't play out. So I'm not telling you don't look at it. I'm just telling you, if you use these, why you're using them, and understanding, you understanding why you're using them and things like that. So that's all I'm saying to you. So if I come up here to my hour, you want to understand where you are in the market. I don't care what you do. You always want to know where you are in the market. You need to know where you are in the market. Like, going back, if I'm gonna use a car again, you need to know where you are in your neighborhood. Where you at? Am I headed to the interstate? What's going on? What direction am I going? So it's always important to know. So now if I pick one of these, this is what we're going to do. So we're just going to look at the first one, okay? We're going to look at the first one. And so it's AUDJPY. Now, to help you with your support and resistance lines, I'm going to do this. I want 2 steps to this, okay? I need 2 steps to this. The first step is you just using this to understand your support and resistance lines. So I'm going to write these numbers down, actually, what I want you to treat them like is, remember when we used to go to school, and when we used to go to school and the teacher, the answer key was in the back of the book. That's how I want you to treat it. Because don't send me any screenshots. Don't send me that. We're not going to be looking at them like that. Okay. So I want you to go to the currency pair, and I want you to mark it up, and then come back and grab these numbers, and these numbers are going to help you. All right. That's what you're going to do. So we were just looking at, okay, you got to remember what currency you're looking at too, AUD, JPY. So AUD, JPY, okay? So if I put it in there, all right, and we were on the hour. So what you can do is look at this and practice. Now, this is your personal integrity, okay? This is your personal integrity. So this is where you come, and it's going to help you. Like you come and you attempt to draw them, and then you check it. You go to don't do it like when you were in school and you went to the back of the book and looked at the answers and then wrote it and filled it in and thought you did something. I'm trying to help you. All right. It's very tempting to just look at it, but I'm trying to help you so you can understand, where it's at. So for the sake of time, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop them on there. So I'm gonna look at these numbers, okay? And as I look at these numbers, all right, 8276, 323, all right? So we're just gonna do this for the sake of time, all right? But I really want you to come put your line chart on, okay? Put your line chart on there. Do what you need to do, okay? Look for these lines. I cannot tell you how many people this has helped. I cannot tell you how many people have actually learned support and resistance. And I'm putting too many numbers for a JPY. They always have all the numbers, and I'm just typing, right? I'm just typing. All right. So let's see here. And y'all not dropping anything in the chat. You guys not like, hey, Trey Whisper, what are you doing? Why are you typing all those numbers? You don't need that many numbers. So, all right. So I'm gonna drop this one on there as well. And then I'm gonna show you. Now understand that these numbers are based on Fibonacci's, okay? So these numbers are based on fibs, on the fibs. All right. So now this is where they are. So obviously these were those two entry points that they had identified, and then that take profit 1, 2, and 3. So you can kind of look at it and you can see those two entry points, and then that take profit 1, 2, and 3. I didn't put the stop loss. That's also, they're using that. We don't put our stop loss on the support and resistance. Matter of fact, we're just using this to identify a harmonic pattern, to be honest with you. Because when I look at this, just like I just told you, right? Go back. I'm not leaving my take profit 3 up here. These are based on fibs. So first and foremost, before you get to trading, this is what I want you to be able to do. Let me change this to the line chart so you can see it. Now you can see where it kind of falls. Of course, you can come in and I want you to make the necessary adjustments. Like I said, it's no way I'm leaving my take profit up here. This was the closing price. That means it just wicked up there. That's what that means. You see that little wick? That means it wicked up there. It didn't close there, it wicked up there. So that's not, we want the close price. And so when I look at my close price is here. So if I'm looking to take a buy, I'm literally coming to right there. I'm gonna bring this down to that close price point, and I'm gonna bring this one down, right? I'm gonna make those necessary adjustments. As a matter of fact, I'll bring it down to here. So you're going to be in the vicinity and in the area. And as long as you're in the area, don't feel like because you was 10 pips off or 2 pips off or whatever the case may be, that you did it wrong. No, you're training your eyes. This is just for training your eyes to see the market. That's what we're doing. We're training our eyes. And so you can come make those necessary adjustments, right? So, I like that. You do that because the line chart, because of me, it helps, right? It's really helped you, hasn't it? And so awesome. And so now when I come back, now you can actually see where this is. And so you can see, like, you know, you might move this down because you're buying, right? But you can see, you know, where you are in the market. You can see that. And so obviously this trade is not done selling right now. It's not done selling. And that's why, you know, that's why you say you learn support and resistance with the line chart, the best suggestion ever. Absolutely. And so I appreciate the feedback, guys. And so, you know, as we look in here, all right. So one of two things. First step is learn your support and resistance lines. This is going to help you. So all you have to do is come through here and just grab some and mark up your charts. Matter of fact, spend the weekend doing it, right? The market is closed on the weekend, you know, so we're coming up on the weekend. Spend the weekend, spend some time, take some time this weekend and just come through there and just mark up charts. You know, just mark up charts and mark up charts and mark them up. And then understand that this will also help you identify trades, because perfect practice makes perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So when I get on the calls in the morning, you notice I give you two. I might talk about five or talk about whatever, but it's gonna talk about what's out there. But I want you to go back and get into the tools, and I'll mark up two of them for you, and we'll analyze it in the mornings on the morning calls, especially the 5 o'clock call, because on the 9 o'clock call, we're doing more the indices and things like that. But you know, so but here, so now it can come and it can help me identify how to take my trades, because here it didn't happen. Yeah, so let's go look at one that's actually manifested. We have a little bit of time still. Let's look at one that's actually played out. You see how that one didn't play out? Look what it did. Which one is, matter of fact, no, we did this one, I think. This is the one. No, this one readjusted because it kept going. So matter of fact, it was one of these, but I know it never turned around. You see, this one is not going to be on there much longer, or it's going to identify a new one and come off of there. So let's look at one that's actually played out. So this one did. This Euro NZD played out, right? So, but you notice it never went to that entry point. You know, it barely touched it, if it touched it at all, honestly. So what we're gonna do, all right, we're gonna take this back to the chart, and I just want to show you, you know, when you start taking a trade. So that's how you come and do your support and resistance, and you just keep practicing and practicing. And when you drill down and you come down the time frames, when you come down, you notice how you have more support and resistance lines in there. They'll pause the market, but they don't stop the market, right? But you notice you have more support and resistance lines in there. This is why I don't pull them typically from the 15-minute chart, right? This is why, because the market is still going to continue to go the direction that it was identified to go to on a higher time frame. That's where it's going. All right. And why am I not logged in? Come on. All right. So now as I come over here, let's pull up that. It was like, you close. I need Euro NZD, not USD. So now we're on an hour. Okay. We're on this hour. And as we're on this hour, all right, looking at this hour, let's go ahead and I want to mark it up. Okay. So I'm going to put these numbers in here. And I just took a picture of it. So I know you're not, like, my memory not that good. All right. I'm gonna do 6604. Right, 042. I took a blurry picture. That's what I did. Took a blurry picture. All right, so take profit 2. I'm not even gonna bother to put those entry points in there because they really didn't even matter. 66290. It didn't even go down that far. And let's put this last one in here. All right, so we definitely gonna adjust that take profit. I don't like those numbers. You see, I didn't call it out. So I'm gonna just move that one. All right. So now, So as we look at this, all right, let's look at this higher time frame. Okay, this is where I'm at on my higher time frame. So blue line cross over the red in an upward momentum. I have a green candle with a flat bottom, but I have no PSR flip. I do have it here. You see I'm on a higher time frame, same thing. So you notice you have it here, okay? You notice this is a good example. So now when I go to my 4 hour, I do not have Confluence. It's still selling. It's still selling. I don't get Confluence till here, right? I don't get Confluence till here. Let me help you with that, right? Let me help you. So look right here. And also let's drop down. Let's check our 15. Let's not miss any steps. So it needs to still be buying. Now look at what my stochastic was actually doing at that point. At that point over here, my stochastic has started curving some. So though we have on whether it's the hour or the 15, we have two indications that even though I have a green candle here, I have two indications that I shouldn't take this trade. I have two indications that I shouldn't get in a trade right there. And when I'm over here, right now, where you know how I always tell you, let's just say, I'm gonna say hypothetically speaking, it was ready. Hypothetically speaking, and you put your stop loss on the P star. Okay, you come put your stop loss on the P star. I'm gonna make it red for the stop loss on the P star. Do you see how you would have wicked out? You see how you would have wicked out? The stop loss always goes below or above the P star. You never put it on the P star. The P star is a trailing stop loss. That's what it is. It's a stop loss. So, it's that trailing support and resistance that goes with it, right? Like a dynamic support and resistance. So you just don't put it there. You bring it down here. But we didn't take it there. We didn't take the trade there because we know to perfect practice makes perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. And so here, right, blue line cross over the red in an upward momentum. You had a green candle right there, flat bottom. You see that P star flip. And I also have my time frame Confluence right here. And so you ultimately had those take profits. And when you drop down, everything was in alignment. It was beautiful, right? And of course, now when you have everything coming up for alignment, then when you start seeing it, you drop down to these lower time frames. And this is why we get so many triggers on the 5 minute over here. We get a lot of triggers. You notice that in the mornings is nothing but 5 minute. And you see how like in the evenings, even though we still have some 5 minutes, we definitely have more 15s. And in some of the highest, you see, we still have a lot of 5 minutes, but it's just based on the amount of liquidity and what's going on in the market. And so, but why are those triggers? Why do they happen down here? Well, because ultimately what's going to happen is that tighter entry point. You see how everything begins to happen here first. And so ultimately, this trade ended up being about, let's see here. If you would have entered this trade, and I was trying not to touch that because I knew what it was going to do. All right, here we go. So this one, if you got in around here, and I'm gonna go back to that other question about the support and resistance line. So if you would have got in, let's just say it happened around there, you got at least have 50 pips from there to there. That's at least 50 pips. If you took it from here to here, you at least have 25, right? So based on your trading style. So you at least have that. Now, going back to that other question that we had, or, understanding, you say you're waiting until it pushes through on a higher time frame. Well, let's take a look at this. Do you see this was kind of wicked out? When we got a flat bottom candle, it literally was beginning its push up. It literally was beginning its momentum. And within this hour, we made it all the way to our take profit. So it literally is where this actually gained its momentum. And so as I drop down, you can see when I got that flat bottom, you see I didn't wait till I got up here. You notice that I got that flat bottom back here, and that's when it began. And technically, if I really want to be technical, there's another support and resistance line right here, right? There's another one. So you can see that if you wait your entry, you wouldn't get in till way up here somewhere, but you're looking for this flat bottom candle. And you notice that is ultimately where they begin to pass through. I got a flat bottom and I have a PSR. That's when they're pushing through the lines. So I don't have to wait on 2 or 3 candles. It's just price action with a twist. It's price action with a twist. And so that's how you begin to identify your trades. Now, what's going to make you more effective is learning those stop orders, because, you know, we knew it was turning around. So as you, you know, as you learn it and as you go through it, you know, what's going to happen is you'll get a lot more clarity on this. And if you use this and practice this, you'll get a lot more clarity. And so that's why I actually have that up on the calls in the morning. You know, this is why it's there. This is why I have it up. And so you say that's your issue, to get that fixed. You get to get in and don't wait. Absolutely. Now, I don't want you focused on the stop loss. This is what I'm challenging all of you all to do, right? Because yes, why do you hit your stop loss? Because we didn't analyze it, right? We have 2 minutes left. No. We're talking about support and resistance, no HFX. So as we dive in, and as you see right here, right? But no, support and resistance works on everything. Okay, it's needed for everything. That's why I wanted to come here and use this tool and really dive in and help you guys train and get your mindsets right. So, you know, as you see, yeah, you've been killing it. And so those support and resistance lines are so important with HFX. It's like I cannot stress it enough. So what I was saying is as you come practice this, I'm going to continue to do this. But going back to the stop loss question or the stop loss thing, we have individuals that when they stopped chasing trades and started, you know, going to get the trades. And when I say go get them, I'm talking about going to get it based on the skill set. So when you see individuals, right, and you have those individuals that literally, you know, their trade accounts are a lot bigger. You don't have to be in the market all day. And that if you're doing all of that, then you're chasing trades. What we're focused on, and when I say March Madness, it's about increasing your trade account. Let's be mad about our legacy. Let's have some madness about our future. Let's have some madness about our trade accounts. Let's have some madness about our wealth, right? Let's have some madness about that, because that's what our focus is this month, is you developing and keeping your eye on a prize and that skill set. That's what we are. And I need all of you all to track it. I need all of you all to go back and attach your online trade journals, right? We did the training on that, attach it. And I need for you to practice. And I want you all to compare it. And so we got to shift that focus from thinking I need to look at a stop loss right here. I'm concerned if I lose a trade, and then it's like, oh my goodness, you're so focused on that. But if you always trade from what you're willing to lose instead of what you're trying to gain, then it won't concern you. And then also with the accuracy rate of 92%, right? Then what you're looking for, then, you know, you're not going to hit it, right? You're going to be focused. I want you to look at your end of month. I want you to look at your overall. We cannot do it. You got to focus on the big picture. And so the big picture, to get to the big picture, you're focused on your skill set. And if you're in that 90%, you know, if you're doing naked charts and price action, you're somewhere around 70%. And I've seen people get 10 pips with a 50 pip stop loss. So you cannot focus on that, and they still are okay. They still are, you know, they're still making money, because their focus is the big picture. Their focus is the end goal, end game. Where am I headed? What am I looking for? That's the focus. You cannot focus on each step along the way. You're going to have pullback and all of this other stuff before you launch out to get where you're going. So if you focus on the skill set and the consistency, and you do that, then what's ultimately going to happen is you are definitely going to be where you need to be. You're going to see a significant increase in your trade account. I promise you. And I want you to track it, because you know, we got an online store coming. So somebody sends that to me and we have some significant increase, then I'm going to just offer you some paraphernalia. Like I'm going to just, you know, send you a t-shirt or just something off their website, you know, that you're looking for, that you want. That's what we're going to do. So I'm challenging you all to track it. I'm just challenging you to track it. And I'm going to gift you a shirt, a hat, you know, a sweater or whatever. It's coming up on summer. That's why I didn't say that. A beach towel, a blanket. I'm going to gift you something. I'm going to gift it to you. So I just kind of want to put that out there. So, you know, we can definitely make sure that you shift your focus, because an educated trader is a profitable trader. And that's what Be Your Own Bank is all about. So I am definitely 2 minutes over my time, but it's time to transition this call. So I'm excited. Do not go anywhere, because it's so important that you understand the why behind the what. It's so significant. It's so important that you understand all of that. And so it brings me great pleasure to actually turn this call over to a gentleman that I have a tremendous